Hey guys, and welcome back to Jalen Says. And today we are with someone that's very cool. And I had to change the guest last minute, and she stepped in, which is pretty incredible. And I thank you for just all the support from my fans and people who are watching me because she was looking at my page and I didn't even. It's incredible because she does all these things. It's pretty cool because my mom came and she told me about her, and I looked at her page and I was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff. Then my mom came in and told me about even more stuff, which was even crazier. So thank you so much for joining in, Miss ReShonda Parker. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, fantastic. And as I said, she does a lot of incredible stuff. She's an award winner. She's a model. She's a CEO. She's a published model. She's acting. Wow. So can you do a quick bio for the audience?
Okay, my name is ReShonda Parker. I am a mother of three. I'm 45 years old, and I started modeling. It's been a little over 20 years that I've been in the industry. Um, as Jalen said, I'm a jewelry designer. I have a business called Sugar. I just recently, not that long ago, got into the whole acting scene. I've had some parts. In about 7 major movies. I've done a couple videos, music videos, and I've done some episodes in TV shows, including Gotham Knights on the CW. Um, and as you said, I'm a published model. I've been published in 54 magazines, one international magazine in France, and I'm busy. I keep going.
That's incredible. So
Mhm.
you've been modeling for over 20 years now, and how does it feel to have gained all this experience, and what have you learned along the way?
Well, one thing about it is, even though I have been in this for so long, I'm still learning. I feel like you can never stop learning. Things are so much different now than they were when I was younger. I was about 13 years old when I got into this. And so now, like I said, I'm 45 years old now. So a lot has changed since that time. But um, really, honestly, and truthfully, like I said, you just never stop learning. So I do some things with teaching young girls runway classes and stuff. That's something that, I've always wanted to do. Never, thought I'd be here now to be able to really do that. Um, so, yeah, I just keep going with, my dream and stuff. And I try to encourage other people, whether it be young girls, women, even, boys, to just follow their hearts and just do what they love to do.
Yes. Wow. Wow. So, what brought you into this? Well, actually, wait. Let's start from the beginning. What was your life like growing up? What did you think you were going to be when you got older?
Oh, honestly, when I was growing up, I was bullied in school from elementary up until early high school, probably about my freshman year. Um, I honestly thought I was going to be doing something with graphic design because I love drawing and I started off drawing comics out of my grandmother's newspaper on Sundays. So I never saw myself modeling. Even at the age of 13, when I got into it, I never imagined that I would be where I am right now. So when I was younger, my childhood, it wasn't entirely bad, but I did deal with some self-esteem issues growing up. Like I said, my peers in school, some of them, bullied me. And as you know, when you're going through something like that, you feel like something's wrong with you. And, you kind of suffer from that. But yeah, after I got to a point where I realized that it really wasn't, me, I started to kind of come out of my shell a little bit more. And so, but yeah, my childhood, I never imagined that I'd be doing all the things that I'm doing right now, which just, for me, I like to talk about that because I want others to know that situations that they might be facing are temporary. I mean, you just never know where your life is going to take you. And I always encourage people just not to give up and just to, keep going. And um, my relationship with God is strong, so I believe in prayer. My grandmother taught me how to pray at a very young age, and I feel like that helped me out a lot too.
Yes, wow. So after you realized that you wanted to do something other than graphic design, was modeling your first choice or was it something else?
Honestly, no, it really wasn't my first choice at all. I kind of stumbled into modeling because I had a low self esteem. My mom put me in modeling courses to kind of help pull me out of that. Um, After wanting to be an artist, I wanted to be a writer because I love to write. And so I still dabble with that now. I write poetry. But yeah, originally modeling wasn't even something I even thought about doing. It was really just something to help me get over my shyness and um, stuff like that. It wasn't anything that I even thought I'd be doing now.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. So
Yeah.
what made you really want to stick around in the modeling world?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you right then. I'm sorry.
What made you want to stick around in the modeling world?
Well, I developed a love for being behind the camera, being in front of the camera. I love being behind the camera too. I like to take photographs all the time of my kids and stuff like that. But I realized that being in front of the camera is kind of like I could transform and be somebody else. I could my shyness disappeared and I was able to just be a completely different person. I became comfortable in front of the camera and it felt good. It was like my comfort zone, my security blanket, my safe place. So that's what made me stick with it. And then as I started doing more and more doors opened for me. So after a while, I was just like, okay, this is something that I really think that I really want to do. But I did end up having children and I did get married and I sat out for quite some time. But after years had passed, I was always thinking about, how much I loved modeling and I got back into it and I've been going ever since.
So when you were sitting out for modeling, were you doing stuff like poetry or stuff that you were doing from a young age, or what was that page in your life like?
Well, during the time that I wasn't modeling, like I said, I was married and I had 3 kids, and I just pretty much took care of my family. Modeling was always something that was in the back of my mind, but at that time, I just really focused on my kids and um, seeing what it was that they wanted to do and kind of nurturing that. And I put what I wanted to do, kind of on the back burner for a little while just so that I can, you know, be more focused on my children, you know. And I figured that later on, I would get back to me, but I just pretty much, just took care of my family during that time.
All right, all right.
And I started creating jewelry at that time too. I started doing that in 2012. So um, my business is called Sugar, and I make custom and one of a kind pieces of jewelry. And I did start that around the time that I.
Wow. So what inspired you to make jewelry? Did you always have like a passion for that as a young age, or was it something you just wanted to pick up?
You said with the jewelry?
Yes, was it like a passion from a young age, or was it something you wanted to pick up just like as a spare time thing?
Honestly, I'll tell you a story, real quick story that was kind of funny how I started doing jewelry. I was in Target and I was looking for a pair of earrings and I couldn't find a pair that I liked. And I wanted something really unique and really different. And I started really studying the jewelry that was in there. And I was like, I wonder if I could actually make this. And that's really how I started making jewelry. I went to Michael's, got a bunch of tools and beads, and just sat there and kind of, played around with it. And my earlier pieces were okay. They weren't anything like they were now, but I went ahead and just, practice every day on different things, earrings, bracelets, necklaces, rings, stuff like that, until I got to a point where I was kind of proud of it enough to show it on Facebook. And once I started doing that, people started asking me how much. And that's how I started selling jewelry. But originally, it wasn't something that I had planned on doing. It was like one of those things, like I said, I was just in the store looking for something and couldn't find anything that I really liked.
Yeah,
And that's how the idea came to me to even try to create it. So that's how I began with that.
yes, wow. So sometimes inspiration can just start off in the store. Wow. So, how long have you had it as an official business now?
I couldn't hear you right then. I think it's my connection. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But what made? How long has it been since you made it a business?
I think I heard you say, "How long has it been since I've made?"
Made
And
it a
then it
business.
kind of distorted. I'm
No, it's
sorry.
fine. No, it's fine. How long has it? How long has it been since you decided to make it a business?
I apologize. It must be on my end because I can hear you some of what you're saying, and then it distorts at the very end.
Oh, no, it's fine. But from what time did you say you made it an official business?
Made it an official business. I think around. Well, I started in 2012. So I think I officially made it a business probably about 2014, probably somewhere in there. That's when I decided to go ahead and just try to sell part time to see how that went, and then I started vending at this open air market in my city, and I'm now a vendor down there for, I've been down there for about 6 years. I've had some locations where businesses have actually bought my jewelry to resell. But yeah, I think about 2014 was when I made it official that I was a business owner.
Wait. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm back. That was something on my side, but
Okay.
sorry. But wow. So you're almost at your 10-year anniversary for your jewelry.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Wow. So after how long did you decide to get back into the modeling world after you started your jewelry?
Well, I did a couple little things here and there, but I wasn't full force into it until probably about, I'll say, the end of 2019 was when I really got back into it, started doing fashion shows and connecting with photographers, just trying to get my face out there because it'd been so long. Um, and I started working with some real photographers in my city. And then that led to working to other photographers out of my city. And so as I started posting more and more of my work, I was blessed to get the attention of designers and magazines and just companies and stuff like that. So about the end of 2019 was when I got back into it and just really, it's kind of just taking off from there. I'm thankful for that. That's many years for me.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty cool. So did when did this
Okay.
become like your main career?
Well, what's amazing is I do a lot of different things right now. Modeling still has not become my full time. It looks like it's my full time because I do so much, but it hasn't yet become my main thing. I have a regular job like everybody else. I just happen to, do the modeling and the movie stuff on the other side of that. But I'm hoping very soon that it will become my main thing. But right now, I split that with my jewelry business, and also I do delivery driving as well for a company. So I'm kind of everywhere right now, but I'm
You're
still very much into, you know, my modeling career. That takes a good amount of my time too, so I'm able to balance it a little more.
wow. So you're a mother. You're a model. You you're an actress. You're a poet. You're a jewelry designer. You deliver. How do you?
I'm a cosplay
How do you?
model too.
Yes, cosplay. No, I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that. But how do you manage all these things?
It's not easy. It's not easy. I'm not even gonna lie and say that I have this strict schedule because I really don't. I'm really, as far as my main job goes, I am flexible with my hours there, so it gives me some room to do other things. Pretty much everything that I do, I work for myself. So I can, you know, choose to do this job this day or that job another day. You know, I'm kind of flexible with every job that I work. So that's how I'm able to do it because if I'm, you know, needing to shoot for an example, or I'm needing to do a fashion show, I can schedule my other stuff around that. And but even still, it's not an easy thing. It was very hard for me in the beginning. I've had to kind of learn as I go.
Wow, wow. So with your poetry, how are you still like doing that at places, or how do you do your poetry now?
Well, actually, I just picked writing poetry back up from when I was like a teenager. So I'm steadily getting back into that, and I'm speaking with someone right now about actually publishing a book. Um, but my book is going to be like short stories and poetry, kind of a mixture of both. So that's where I've gotten back into poetry because I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and write and have a book published. So I'm hoping sometime next year to actually have a book out.
Wow, that's that's wow, that's impressive. Wow. So
Thank you.
with your poetry, you originally started off with graphic design and stuff like that. Do you still do graphic designs? Will there be like pictures in your book or?
I'm actually thinking about doing that. I haven't decided just yet. Because I used to draw a lot as a child, and I drew, you know, a lot during my teenage years too, and then I kind of fell off a little bit. And I'm picking all of that stuff back up. You know, that was one of my passions, one of my first passions, way before modeling. You know, so I'm little by little doing that, but I hope to have maybe a few in the book. I'm still trying to decide. Mainly, I've been focused on short stories, and because they're a little bit easier for me to write, and the poetry part of it as well. But I might have some drawings in there. I haven't decided yet.
All right, all right, all right. So, well, as you talked about with helping your kids with their stuff that they want to do and things that they're focusing on, do any of the kids lean towards the stuff that you do, like graphic design, poetry, or modeling?
Well, my all three of my kids have something beautiful and unique about them. You know, my oldest son, who is turning 20 in July, he's the most like me, I guess. He's a model as well. He's just now getting into modeling, and he also draws. And my daughter, she draws as well. My youngest son, he's more athletic, so he didn't really take after me on any of that. He took more after his father on that. But as far as my daughter and my oldest son go, they both draw, and they're my daughter, she does the cosplay stuff too. She's actually who really got me kind of into doing that many years ago. Um, because we're a creative family.
Yeah.
So with like during Halloween, I would create costumes for my youngest son when he was smaller, and I like to create things for myself as well. But my daughter was already doing that, and so but yeah, they all have a little something. Mainly my two oldest kids that are like me.
Wow. So before I get back into the cosplay, you created stuff for your kids yourself. How do you feel about a career of fashion design?
Well, fashion design, as far as like me drawing fashion.
Well, fashion design and I guess fashion creation as well, or how you say it. But what do you feel about the whole
Yeah.
design aspect?
Well, as far as designing things go, I've never really thought about design as far as like clothing and stuff like that goes. But I feel like with my jewelry creation, that's something that I would consider, fashion design as well. Jewelry is important accessories to outfits and stuff like that. So, I look at my jewelry as, fashion design.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is. I mean, imagine chicken but without seasoning.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So with cosplay and stuff, what really enticed you with it? Because I know your daughter got you into it, but what really kept you into that area?
Well, I have a photographer who has been a longtime friend of mine. He's like family to me. His name is Christian Ortiz. And I've always loved, like I said, being creative and creating costumes and, stuff like that. And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, that would fall into like the design, the fashion design, as well, because I would take pieces and I would put them together and I would create with that. So I didn't think about it that way. But my photographers who really got me into it, I'll say, he sent me a photo one day and he asked me, "What do you think?" And it was a photo of, I think, oh, I don't want to get it wrong. I think the first one he sent me was Nubia. Um, and a lot of people don't really know who she is, but I'm going to tell you all who she is. She is the sister, the Black sister of Wonder Woman. And there's a whole storyline behind her. And sadly, I didn't grow up knowing anything about her. And so it was important for me to cosplay her so that people would know about her, especially our young, you know, Black, you know, young women and little girls, that we had a superhero that looked just like us.
Yeah,
So he was the one that got me into doing the cosplay as a model, taking it beyond just dress up to, actually creating with that character.
yeah.
So I credit him for that.
Wow, that's incredible. And as I scroll through your Instagram, I also see a lot of pictures of Storm, a character from Marvel. Are you pretty
Right.
fond? Yeah.
I love Storm. I actually do two versions of her. Um, the one that you were just showing, that's Bloodstorm. Storm has different versions. And the one that I love doing is the one with the mohawk because I have a mohawk hairstyle. And so she is my favorite one to do. Outside of her, I don't want to say a regular Storm because she still has a mohawk as well, but I do two different versions of Storm with the mohawk. That's the one that I gravitate more towards because she's most like me.
Yeah. So wow. So also with
And I'm a
on your
Marvel fan as well. So,
yes, yes. Me too, me too. I like all the characters and like reading up the lore and all that stuff. But yes, and
right.
also talking about mohawks and stuff, I always see on your page pictures of you with these incredible haircuts and hairstyles. So is doing your hair kind of a hobby to you, or does switching it up always make you excited?
Well, well, I've always been into natural hair care. I went natural, just went chemical free probably about 14 years ago. And I had to really learn over again my hair because I didn't get a relaxer until I was probably about 13 years old. And, but yeah, it's become, you know, not just, I won't say a hobby, it's a lifestyle, for me. I help others that want to also, go natural if that's something that they want to do. So um, I guess you could, kind of call it that as well, I guess, because I'm very much into taking care of our hair and, just keeping it healthy. And I have a lot of fun with my hair. I've rocked afros and twists and all kinds of things. So, I just love doing different things with it.
Yes. Wow. All right. All right. And also, when I scroll through your page, I also see something that says Model of the Year 2022. So,
Right.
how, first off, before I get into how does it feel to get the award, how does it feel to just grow as a model from when you started?
I think I heard part of what you asked me. Can you ask me that again?
How does it feel to be a well, wait, let me rephrase. How does it feel to see yourself grow as a model from when you first started?
Honestly, it's an amazing thing. I mean, because like I said, I would have never imagined doing any of the things that I'm doing right now. Um, I never imagined being in movies or TV shows or anything like that. Even when I really got back into modeling full time or almost full time, I still never imagined being in any movies. So seeing where I started in 2019, which was nobody knew my name, nobody knew my face at all. I had to work very hard to get myself out there,
Yeah.
and even still, as hard as I worked to do that, I still could have never imagined being published in, like I said, 54 magazines. That was wild to me when I thought about it. Winning an award for Model of the Year in my city was an amazing thing too. That let me know that people were really, watching, and I appreciated the fact that they took time out of their busy lives to encourage and support me as well. So,
Yes.
it's just really amazing. Like I said, to look back on where I started and not many people knowing, who I was to now, being where I am now,
Yeah.
being on a TV screen,
Yeah.
is really surreal, in a lot of ways.
Yes. So, as I saw on your page, your Model of the Year 2022, you're an award winner. How does it feel to be credited for all the stuff that you do as well?
It feels amazing. It really feels amazing. I look at my trophy and I'm just thankful to everyone that even thought of me to nominate me,
Yes.
for something like that. I didn't even know that was a thing, until I was nominated and then I actually won. And so, to see a trophy with my name on it just proves to me even more that, I mean, you can do anything you want to do as long as you, keep going and, have faith, in God. You can do anything.
Yes. Wow. So, actually, my mom just told me about a while ago. I was taking a picture with you when you were cosplaying with, by someone, which is really cool. So we even met before this, which is awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes. But besides Storm, which I know is one of your favorite people to cosplay because of the mohawk, who else do you really like cosplaying as?
Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
She was my very first real cosplay. I did two different costumes with her. I had my starter costume, I call it, and then I invested more into the costume and got a much better one. And she became my first real cosplay, I'll say. But she is my favorite of all. Um, and then after her, there was Storm and there was Nubia. And if you know anything about anime, I did Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop with my boyfriend. He was Spike. And I did Poison Ivy, and I had Morticia and Michonne from Walking Dead, The Walking Dead. I've done quite a few, but Gamora is by far my favorite one. I have a love for that costume because she was the first one that I ever really cosplayed.
Yes. Wow. Wow.
She's somewhere on my page.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Wow. So also, what does it feel like to go to all these conventions with people who share a common interest in the same thing that you watch? Well, you watch, you cosplay as, and stuff like that.
Well, I'm new to the conventions. I think, well, the very first one that I ever went to, I think was Nerdicon in Columbus. And then the major con, I went to MomoCon in Atlanta and I got there late, so I didn't get a chance to really see anything. But this year, this past weekend, I went back up to Atlanta to MomoCon and I only did one day because it was a 4 day thing, but I was working the other day. So I got a chance to spend one full day there. And it was amazing just to see like all the different costumes that people come up with. For me, it's the creative aspect of it because like I said, I'm a creative, and so I love to see how people would take a character and just put their own, spin on it. And so that was the best part about it to me, was being surrounded by other people that we all share that, common interest. So I plan on going to some more in the future. There's a couple other ones coming up. Dragon Con, AWA, which I did go to AWA one year. That's when I was Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop. So me and my boyfriend did that one. But it was really fun. It was really cool to
Yeah.
see what everybody else was doing, and just it's amazing how like truly creative these people are to just make these things, from scratch.
Yeah.
I'm not that good yet. I haven't done that yet. But just seeing people just take stuff like foam board, and just creating weapons and I don't know, like armor and stuff with it. So it's just really cool to see all the different age groups and stuff like that too.
Wow. Pretty cool. And wow. So I always wanted to go to conventions like that. I see it all the time online. So was this also kind of something you really wanted to do for a while and you finally got to do it?
Yeah, I'm normally busy. Like I'm always working, it feels like. And if I'm not working, I'm doing stuff with my children. And I never really had like off time, it felt like, but I made it a point to take an off day and do something that I've been wanting to do. And I had a blast. It's definitely something that I'm going to end up doing again.
And did cosplaying spark your love for anime? Was it something you watched before because you cosplayed as cowboy, as a character in Cowboy Bebop, and it's anime? So did you kind of get into it after cosplay? Was it something you watched when you were younger, stuff like that?
Well, I didn't watch it when I was younger at all. I watched like classic, cartoons, I don't, to be honest with you, I can't even tell you if anime was out when I was a child. I don't even know. Um, but I didn't do my children. My daughter is 25. My daughter and my well, I'll just say my daughter, she was into anime, and then my youngest son was as well, and that's kind of how I started looking at it. But like I said, my boyfriend was the one that I cosplayed Faye, and he was Spike from Cowboy Bebop. That was his favorite show, and he wanted me to watch it one day. I watched it, I fell in love with it, and we decided to cosplay those characters. So that's really how that came about.
Pretty cool. And also on your page, I see you're from Arizona, and you moved to Georgia. What was? I mean, by what I heard about Arizona, it's really hot, but also Georgia could get hot sometimes. I know it's not like Arizona, but what sparked the move over to Georgia?
Well, I was born in Fort Huachuca, Arizona. my mom and dad were both in the Army, and that's how we ended up moving from Arizona to Georgia. I don't have a lot of memory of Arizona because I was so young at the time. I do know that it's hot. That's all I know. But we moved here because of the military. My mom and dad served in the Army. Everyone in my family, with the exception of me and my grandmother, has been in the military. So we were a military family, and that's how we end up here.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. Do you ever think about going back to Arizona to like see it? And
Yes, yeah. I definitely want to go back to Arizona and see it. I'd love to visit my birthplace, you know. And I think that Arizona is beautiful. I've had friends that have gone and, taken photos there, and I've seen those. And yeah, I do plan on doing that one day.
right, right, cool. And also on your page, I see you're a brand ambassador for Different is the New Cool. I currently do not have the hoodie. I was just wearing it yesterday, but I currently don't have it around right next to me. But
Yeah,
I worked with them for so long. They always one of my good friends, and wow, so
right.
that's that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
how does it feel? Continue what we were saying. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that I've been a brand ambassador for multiple companies, all amazing companies, all very different companies, um, from clothing to like cosmetics and all kinds of things. And I'm just really thankful that they have opened their arms to me, and allowed me to represent them. So that's one other thing that I have thought about, that's different from what I was doing back when I first started off. I wasn't a brand ambassador for any companies. I didn't even know about doing stuff like that. And now this is another thing that I look back on and say, wow, I can't believe that I do this now, where before, I had no knowledge of that type of stuff at all. So I'm just really, really thankful and appreciative that everybody has, like I said, supported me and believed in me. And I'm thankful to God, number one, for everything that I've been able to do.
And also on one of our other topics, we have that you're an actress. You've been in a lot of cool stuff. My mom gave me some highlights like Tyler Perry Sisters, Gotham Knights, Ghosted,
Right.
and all this other stuff. What brought you
Um,
into the
th-
world of acting again?
well, there was a movie here in my city a while back, and it was a movie called The Neon Highway. It had Beau Bridges in it and some other actors. And that was like, I think, I don't want to say one of the first movies that I'd been in. I've been in about seven now. But at that time, I was just really getting into it. I didn't know what it felt like to be on set and, stuff like that. But the first major movie that I was ever booked for was Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. That was the very first movie that booked me. And there's a good and bad to that story. Um, the good part of that story is that I was booked for it twice. The bad part of the story is that I never made it on set. And that was because the scene that they were working on, it went over the time and I never made it on set. But, what I take away from that is that I was blessed enough to have been given that opportunity because that's something that I can say, I did. I went to studios, I got in costume, hair, makeup, and everything. And I got to experience something that's so amazing and iconic. And, even if I did not make it on set, just experience, just being able to see the things that I saw, that's something that I'll think about for the rest of my life.
Wow. So after that, what was your next step in acting?
Well, after that, I did, it was a movie called Someday at Christmas. Vanessa Bell Calloway directed and produced it. Um, I was in a scene in that. It went on to open doors, like I said, to other movies. There's one that's coming out probably around Christmas this year. It has The Rock, Chris Evans, who plays Captain America in the Marvel movies, and another actor who's from Game of Thrones. I had an opportunity to be on set with them. So that's a movie called Red One, and that will be out probably sometime around or close to Christmas time this year. And the music videos that I've been in, I have a really good friend of mine who she actually was discovered by Tyler Perry. He heard her voice over the audience and she signed, I believe, with RCA. Her name is Jamisa. And I was honored to be in her first video called Fist Up. And then I went on to be in a music video for a rapper. His name is Ken Carson, and his video is called Go. And I was able to do that as well. So I've done a lot of things, and
Yeah.
I'm just really, like I said, thankful for all of that. I've met some really amazing people along the way, um, some celebrities, you know, just a lot of people, just a lot of people that I really admire.
Wow. So, what do you want your next step to be in acting?
Well, honestly, I think about that often, but I'm pretty much one of those type of people that I just allow God to just open doors for me. You know, we don't always know what it is that we want to do or need to do. I just allow Him to move me. So I don't really think ahead. Maybe that's bad. I don't know. But I just kind of allow God to just open these doors. And I just feel like I'll know when I get there.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So, what what is your thing that you want to leave to the world? What do you want people to remember you as, know you as, stuff like that?
Um, well, I say all the time that what I really want people to remember is really a message from me for everybody else, you know. And that's just to, like I said, keep going, never give up. In the beginning, well, when I started back with my modeling this time around, I realized that I was older than a lot of the models in the industry, you know, starting off. And I kind of talked myself, down a little bit because I was like thinking about how they're half my age or younger. And I just couldn't allow that to keep me from doing what I've always loved to do. So I encourage people to not let things like age, define them. I encourage people to get out there and try because you never know, what'll happen from that. Um, so I guess if I want anybody to remember something about me would be that I just kept going and I never gave up. And I wanted to, just see everybody else do the same thing. Because, like I said, you just never know what doors will open for you. Um, if you don't try, that's failing, to me.
So, who was your inspiration?
My inspiration has always been my grandmother. She's the person in my life that has always loved, encouraged, and prayed for me from a small child up to now. I'm blessed to still have her. She's 87 years old, and you couldn't tell it. And I talk to her almost every day. And she has been the person in my life to just really keep me going at times when I felt like I just couldn't, do something. she would just talk to me, and she would always let me know that she was praying for me and let me know that, God is going to make a way. And she was right. He always does. But she has been like my strength, my rock.
All right. All right. So when you're not on set and you have some family time, chilling out with the kids or by yourself, what do you like to do?
Well, with each one of my children, we do different things. It just depends on what they're into. Like my youngest son, he's very athletic, and I don't know anything about sports, so I can't really help him there. But like we went to the con this past weekend together because he is into anime. So that was something that we did together. But I'll just take, whatever they're interested in, and they teach me things, that I didn't know you know. So I pretty much just kind of let them lead, see what they're into, and just go from there. So, can never tell what we're going to do.
Yes. Okay. All right. But when you're on your own, what would you chill out with or do for fun?
Me, it's kind of funny because even though I'm out and about doing all the modeling stuff, I'm still very much a homebody. I love being in my apartment. I just love being at home when I can. I like listening to music, and I enjoy watching my favorite shows on Netflix and stuff like that. I'm not a club person or anything like that. I don't go out like that. But I really enjoy quiet time, time to myself, because I don't really get that too much. I am out and about with what I do so much, to the point where when I have those moments where I can just kind of, relax and watch a little something on TV, eat. I love to cook. That's one thing that I do love to do. I love to cook because I love to eat. So I enjoy doing that. And that's just how I wind down. That's how I relax.
Right. What made you start wanting to cook? Because everyone that wants to eat a lot needs to cook a lot. But what made you want to
Right.
start cooking?
Well, I always had a love for cooking. When I was younger, I would watch my grandmother cook, and I would see her make cakes and pies and all kinds of things from scratch. She never used boxed mixes and stuff like that. And I used to watch her cook. So as I got older, I would ask her, how do I make this? How do I make that? And then when I became a mother, I got to feed my kids. So I had to cook. And that's how I really started cooking. And then I started experimenting with different types of food.
Yeah.
Um, I just love food, and one of my favorite things is Korean cuisine. My best friend growing up, her mother was Korean, and she cooked all the time, and I learned how to do some of that too. Um, and then I experimented with vegan cooking because I went vegan for about 3 years. I was vegan, so I just really enjoy cooking and making new dishes and trying stuff out and letting my family and friends try things out. So, I that's how I started, was watching my grandmother when I was younger.
Wow. And about Korean cuisine, I'm really into East Asian cuisine. I'm This morning I was just scrolling through Japan cooking videos, and I was like, why don't they have this stuff in the States? And it's like just really want to explore,
Yeah.
cook and eat. And what made you want to shift towards being a vegan?
Right. It started to distort just a little bit. I'm sorry.
No, but what made you want to switch towards being vegan?
What made me switch towards being vegan?
Yes. Yeah.
If I heard you correctly.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Well, I got many years ago, I was reading a book that talked about a lot of different things, additives to, our food and artificial colors and all that kind of stuff like that. And it kind of sent me on a journey with my family to just eating cleaner. And that's when we really just stopped eating fast food and a lot of stuff. That's when I really dug deep into cooking our meals. And I was always one of the type of people that loved to research stuff. And what started me on a vegan journey was at one point I had problems with my skin and I didn't know what was causing that. And I just started doing a lot of reading and I started eliminating things. And then next thing you know, I just eliminated animal products, because of, I could get real deep into that, but I started eliminating animal products and just focused on whole foods like, your vegetables, your fruits, stuff that um, didn't have any kind of chemicals and stuff like that. And I just went completely clean and just decided to try vegan living, which I loved, by the way. And I will be going back, but there's still like a lot of things that I don't even eat now. But basically, what started me on a vegan journey was just trying to clean up the way that I ate. Just eliminating, some things that I felt probably weren't the best for me. And that left me with, just going vegan. And I enjoyed it. I really did.
All right. When you're vegan, what food item were you always craving but you couldn't have because of your eating regimen?
Well, when I was vegan, I don't know. I've always been, even from the time I was a child, I love fruits and vegetables. Like I could just snack on raw fruits and vegetables like all the time. So I crave stuff like that. I wasn't really like craving crazy, stuff or anything like that. I really just enjoyed like big bowls of fruit salads and stuff like that, and salads with a lot of different types of vegetables in it, or it's always something like that. I didn't have any really crazy cravings for anything.
All right, all right. So, when are you gonna switch back to being a vegan? Because I heard you say you're about to switch back soon. When is that gonna be?
Honestly, I feel like I'll be able to better focus on what I need to do when I'm not as busy as I am right now, because I have quite a few things coming up this month, and this month just came in. So I'm kind of pacing myself. I'm still trying to figure that out. I just know that I want to, and I'm just trying to kind of play it by ear. Right now I don't really have a exact, date of when I'm going to do anything. I'm just, trying to see what feels right for me, by whenever I'm not as busy and I can really focus, because I do meal prep and stuff when I start doing that. Because since I'm on the go so much, I like to take meals with me. So that keeps me from finding something that may not be as good for me. So
Yeah.
it's something that is really a process. Is no real quick thing. So I
Yes.
just have to pick out when I have some time to really do that.
Yes, because when you're on the go, there's no vegan Chick-fil-A. Most of the
No,
vegan to-go places are like one in
but
each city.
right. But what I do like is that there are places that do have some options. Now back when I started doing it, no, not so much. And when I go to other states, they have mainly like, well, when I'm in other cities, like when I'm up in Atlanta, they have restaurants that actually cater to that lifestyle. So it's easy for me to find places in a lot of the states that I've traveled to, that do cater to that lifestyle. But like, you know, it's something that takes, research. You really have to look for these places. And even like regular um fast food places, and you can find something, on the menu that might be, pretty plant-based, or, vegan or whatever. It may not be a lot on the menu, but you can tend to find something.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. When you say you travel through the states and stuff. Do you find traveling relaxing, and do you really want to travel if you have free time to do so?
I love to travel. I honestly hate flying, but I know that I have to fly to get certain places, you know. But I love the feeling of getting away and experiencing new things and seeing new sights and, you know, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I definitely love to travel and I plan on doing more this year. Towards probably towards the end of this year and definitely more next year.
All right, all right, all right. So I normally like asking this question a lot, but if you had like a week or a day to yourself to do whatever you want, no one's gonna call you during this day, no, nothing unexpected is gonna happen during this day or week. What would you be doing?
I already know what the answer is. I'd sleep. I would get some sleep. Anybody that knows me knows that I do not sleep that much. So it would definitely be getting some more sleep.
Yeah, sleep is important.
Right.
Yes, all right. So, is there any hobbies, if you had some free time to do so, that you'd like to pick up? Because cooking is very cool and it's such a great relaxer. But is there any other relaxers like gardening or anything that you think you'd like to pick up?
Well, gardening for me has always looked amazing. I've always wanted a garden. I've always wanted to grow my own vegetables and stuff like that, but I do not have a green thumb. I kill every plant, so it wouldn't be gardening. um, I think that if I could pick, I've always wanted to learn how to crochet. I know that probably sounds kind of crazy, but I've always wanted to learn how to crochet. I have a friend who she's an amazing designer, and the things that she creates, her name is Celeste, but the things that she creates is so amazing. And I've always wanted to learn how to do that. Um, can't really think of anything else that I want to learn but that, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just always been something.
when I was younger, around like it was a while ago, but I went to this Barnes and Noble and I saw, I'm pretty sure it was a Barnes and Noble store like that, and I saw this crochet kit, and it was pretty cool learning how to do it. I mean, I didn't really stick with it, but it was
Right.
pretty cool because it's such a cool relaxer thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that it would be. That's pretty much how I feel when I'm doing my jewelry. Is such a stress reliever, to be able to just sit and create something, you know, especially something that at the end of it you can wear it, you know, or you can gift it to somebody, you know, to wear. But yeah, crocheting was something that I've been looking at, but I've never actually tried to do it. It was just something in my mind that if I could learn, that would be something I want to learn.
Yeah. Wow. Well, actually, unfortunately, our time has basically come to an end. But thank you so much for coming on and talking about your pretty incredible life that with all the things that you do, your children, your modeling, you're an actress, you're an award winner, you're CEO of a jewelry company. You do a lot of stuff, and it's pretty impressive and cool, and just wow. Thank you.
Thank you. And I appreciate you for having me on your show.
Yes, yes. But before we get off, can you tell the audience where we can find you, where we can follow you, and where we could get some of your jewelry as well? Because there was a comment up there about how they really, really wanted to buy one of those bracelets.
It kind of broke up just a little bit. I really think it's the connection on my end, not your end. I think it's on mine.
But where can we follow you, and where can we like buy your jewelry?
To buy my jewelry,
Yes.
I have an Etsy. I'm working on a website, but if you go to Etsy, it's under Sugar Unique. And that is where you can see some of my pieces. Now, truthfully, I have to update my page. It's been a minute since I've been on there updating. I have things that I have not even posted to my page because the majority of my jewelry I sell at my markets when I go. And
I think it kind of lagged out a little bit, but I put her links to her Instagram, her Facebook in the chat where you could see some pictures of her jewelry, some of her modeling career, and all of this stuff because she's a pretty incredible woman. She she's pretty inspirational, and it's wow. Uh, like even with people bullying her at a young age and telling her what she isn't, she said, "Nope, that's not true." And now she's here, model of the year, award winning, doing all these movies. It's pretty incredible. But let's wait a second before we end to see if she could get back on. But thank you guys. Thank you a lot for all your support. Thank you for just following, just keeping up, and also thank you for all this. Really, thank you for all the support. We're halfway to 1,000 subscribers, more than halfway, and it's just wow. It means a lot that you guys are supporting, watching, following. But make sure you subscribe, like, hit the bell so you get notified. And I mean, she's a pretty incredible woman. She does a lot of stuff, and I hope you go because I put some links in the chat. I hope you go and look at what she does and follow her and see what's up next with her. But I mean, really, guys, thank you for all your support. Also, guys, if you don't know yet, God Guys coming up, and God Guys coming up real soon. It's coming up. I'm not sure about the date, so I'm not going to say the wrong date, but it's coming up on my Facebook, so you could check it out. And yes, and she is back. But thank you all, thank you. But can you tell us where we can follow you and everything like that? Because I put two of your links down in the chat for your Instagram and Facebook. And
but it's breaking up a little bit on my end. I'm not sure what you just asked me, and I apologize for that.
oh no,
I
it's
don't
all.
know what the question was. I'm sorry.
Where can we follow you and get notified of what you're doing next?
Okay, where can you follow me?
Yes. Again, but I do have some of the links in the chat. And let me put in all of her links actually, which is, I mean, wow. And
Sorry about that. It kicked me off. But I heard you ask where can they follow me?
I gave you.
Are you able to hear me?
yes. And
Okay.
my mom also gave me the information, so I will put that in the chat as well. But wow,
Okay.
yes, but thank you a lot, and wow, it's incredible because my mom just sent me more stuff of stuff that you've been in, and it's really surprising, and it's wow. But
Well, I appreciate that. And tell your mom I said thank you. I'm definitely going to be working on more things in the future. Everybody could follow me on my Instagram. It's ReShonda, ReShonda underscore Parker, Parker. And I post photos from shoots, behind the scenes, things that are up and coming that I'm in, as well as everyday life for me. I like to engage with my followers and let them see, that I'm a real person. So I love meeting, new people, and I respond to every message. So that's where people can follow me on Instagram.
all right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for sharing all of the incredible stuff you do, and I will call you after I close out the stream.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you too. And thank you to the wonderful audience out there in the audience watching us, also watching me do all this stuff because I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. I can't wait for this 1,000 subscribers milestone, and I really hope you guys. I really thank you guys for helping me get this way. But if you haven't already, share this video with your friends, like the video, do all that jazz. But really, thank you. And also, God, guys, everybody loved it when they watched it, and it's pretty incredible. It's coming up real soon, and I'm not sure about exactly when it's coming out, so I don't want to say the wrong date. But if you need more information, you could check out my Facebook, and I'll put a link in the description below. I'll put a link for all her other stuff in the description below. And just really, I really appreciate it. And a lot of cool stuff is coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. And I really appreciate it, guys. Stay tuned. Peace.